Hello and welcome to my live broadcast. If you're here, I would hope that you would let me know that you can hear me. And we're good. So glad you're here. Just want to make sure this is all working out right. Check it out on here. Hey, I'm here. I'm live. Good. I'm glad you're here. More you're coming. It's all good. I'm watching myself, but that's okay. So, and the volume's working. So, that is good. Okay, so we don't have to watch this now. You can help me share this out. Yeah, everyone. Awesome. Well, today I am working on creating sourdough. This is what I do every Friday, so this is where we're at. So currently right now I have 3 batches of regular sourdough that I normally make on the go. I'm trying to make some sourdough that doesn't have any extra yeast in it, just the total sourdough yeast. I've got that on the go right now. And so I've got mixing in the mixing bowl right now, almost ready to go is the sourdough. Starting to get my next batch ready to go here. In the oven. So this is my traditional style sourdough. So now I've let it rest for 20 minutes as per the recipe. And now I'm going to add 2.5 teaspoons of salt and kind of work it in. Knead it into this. Salt. I'm just going to knead this in. Let me know where you're from, who's hanging out with me now. That'd be cool. So I'm just going to work this salt into the dough. 2.5 into the dough. If you're watching, I'd love to know where you're from, how you found me, what's going on, how you doing. You got any questions for me? I'm just going to work this while the other one's working in the mixer. I'll just do this with my hand to kind of work this salt in. If you're using the natural sourdough, just gotta know it's gonna take a lot longer to rise. But you can actually take the dough before you can cook it and just throw it in the fridge and let it sit for a day or two and let the flavors just grow. That sourdough flavor. We're gonna give this watch. And so that's kind of, and we're gonna let this rise for 2 hours after I'm done kneading it. The other ones only need about a little more than an hour, and they're good to go because they've got the extra yeast in it. This is what I do every Friday. I'm not sure I'm going to go live every Friday, but hey, I'm going to hang out with you. And the more people that connect with me, the more reason I have to stay and come back. So, how are you doing? Who's here? Who's hanging out with me? I see one person watching. Getting a workout. This is my workout for the day. I'm glad you're here, though. I'm going to need this for probably another 2 minutes. Just before I do that, I got to get this. This is much easier to knead with the machine, but so that's my regular sourdough bread. This is the one I do. It's pretty easy, pretty quick. It's more like a white sourdough. So then I already have some in the oven. I just need to get a pan. This one here has some whole wheat in it. The one I just made doesn't have any whole wheat in it. I'm going to make a whole wheat one today, so we'll see how that goes over. Try some different things. Hoping to make like a multi-grain, multi-nut kind of bread today too. I got some flax seeds, some pumpkin seeds, some sesame seeds. So we're trying something different today. I'm always up to trying something different. We'll do some of the traditional ones that I've been doing. Just spray that until we get the next one going. So let me finish this, and then I will get the next batch. Just give the mixer just a minute to relax. She's already done 5 batches of bread. She needs a little bit of a break. So kneading just kind of works the flour and helps it absorb the water and gives it all that elasticity that you want in your bread. So you're just going to keep working it. You're kind of incorporating some air into it. It's all good. So, fantastic. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'll respond to any comments. Bye. See you later. Okay, so that's good. So I'm going to put that one back. We'll work on that one in a second. So in this bowl here, we have 1 cup of the starter. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of the salt. Okay. Okay, 2 teaspoons of the salt. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of sugar. This is just going to give it a little bit of richness. I like my sugar. 1 teaspoon of yeast. We're going to add 5 cups of flour. I know that 5 cups of flour is enough because it always is in this recipe. So if I just do even cupped flour, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we pop it on the mixer, take the other bowl off, add this bowl on. Okay, so the only thing we got to make sure we add is our water. Top half. Warm to slightly hotter than warm. Add that in and let her go. We let that go, put the flour away. We now take the other started loaf, the sourdough. We'll put this down here. We need 2.5 teaspoons of salt mixed into this. 1, 2.5. And we're going to mix that into this dough as we need it. I don't normally do it this way, but I'm just trying the recipe, and this is what the recipe calls for. So we'll try that. So we're here. Yeah, we're here. We're live. And, trying to do this thing. And I don't do very often. Starting to get this live thing on. Live presence. Obligatory selfie. It's all good. So what I'm doing right now is I'm working some salt into this dough. Why am I working salt into dough? Well, this is what the recipe said, is to mix the flour, the water, the sourdough starter first, and then let it rest for a little bit, and then to add the salt after, which I am now kneading into the bread. While I'm kneading this bread, it's not I've got another my traditional sourdough that I like to make. I got that going in the mixer. It's going strong over there. And as we mix this It's creating, working the flour, allowing it to grow, which is good. That one's coming around good. Let's see. Oh, perfect. I like it. It's good. It's fantastic. Hey, welcome. I'm working on sourdough. I'm trying to do a traditional sourdough, no extra yeast, because, you know, sometimes I want to try it. This one's got a little bit of whole wheat in it. No active yeast, just the sourdough yeast. I'm trying to see if I can do this. I've just burnt out my mixer, so that's going to be out for a little bit. So I guess I'll be making bread from scratch, without the mixer for a little bit. Let's see. That happens. Yeah, she needs a break. Whoa. KitchenAid, do you want to give me a new mixer? That'd be awesome. This is my traditional, the one I've been doing since I started. This is my sourdough traditional. So this is just your 1 cup of starter, 1.5 cups warm water, 5 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of yeast, so it doesn't take forever, 2 teaspoons of sugar, and 2 teaspoons of salt. Let it mix, let it rise, rise. So gonna add it to this other one. This is my 4th one in the oven, proofing, because I have a proofer on my oven. Pop that in there. These ones have a little tiny bit of whole wheat in them, but that's okay. So I'm working on that. So this one here, this is the actual like traditional sourdough, no active yeast in it. All this has in it, and it doesn't have any sugar. It's just water, flour, bit of whole wheat flour, and the sourdough starter. And so I'm just finishing up working this one. It should be almost there, and then I will create another bread. But this time I'm going to do it without a mixer, because the mixer right now says, "Hey, I'm tired and I need a break." So, you know, six batches of bread in it. It gets tired after a while. I can get 8 before it kicks out on me, but not this time. So I gotta give it about 20 minutes, and then it'll start back up. So if you're here, I'd love you to jump into the chat and just say hi. You know, let me know you're here. There's the reasonable cat lady. How you doing? So you can do these if you haven't used your wrists enough. This is a good way to work out your wrists, keep them strong. It's wonderful. So this is pretty elasticy. It's good. It's bouncing back pretty good. It's where I want it. So I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna throw this. So I got a proofer on my oven, so I can use the plastic in my oven as a proofer, so it's fine. I'm not not putting it at any temperature that's going to do any damage to it. So this one here is going to go for at least 2 hours to rise up, at least, and then we'll go from there. We'll see. This one here's got no extra yeast other than the sourdough yeast. So right now I got 6 loaves of bread in the oven. Oh, there we go. Hi. The rest is Hey, Orville Nation, what's going on? We got the reasonable cat lady, and we got Terry here. We are going to start some bread. So we're going to grab ourselves a bowl. Okay. I think I'm going to start with my cheese, bacon, herb bread. This is where we're going. So we got 1 scoop of sourdough. Yummy. It's nice and thick, but that's okay. I like it thick. Okay, we're going to put that all in there. 1 cup. 1 cup, and then get out of here. There we go. Okay. 1 cup. From there, we're going to add our flour. I just do anything. It doesn't matter what order you do it. It's all going to get mixed up. So because I'm doing it by hand, I'm going to add 3 cups of flour at the start and then 2 later and work it in. The mixer's not working at the moment because I've worked it to death. Yeah. So now we're going to bacon. I love my bacon seasoning. So 2 teaspoons of salt. Yeah, 2 teaspoons. We're going to add, just for extra richness, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of sugar. And because I don't have all day, I like to, I just throw a bit of this active Quickerize yeast in there. It helps just give it a little more boost, just like a nitro boost, so it's going to be good. From here, I'm going to add my seasonings before I add my water. So I have some maple bacon. So this is maple bacon I got from Costco. I'm going to add, let's go with two tablespoons today. Oh, I'm feeling generous. Let's go 3. Lots of flavoring in there. Okay. I love this herb and garlic, so we're going to add that. We're going to add 2 of these to get that garlicky flavor. 2 of these. My son says this is the best bread I make. So, hey, the teenagers can't be wrong, right? How can they be wrong? So we got that. So right now we have a cup of sourdough. We got 3 cups of flour. We got our salt. We got our sugar. We got our yeast in there. We got our seasonings. We need cheese. So let's see what we got here. Looks like I got this Tex-Mex that'll work perfectly. You can use whatever you like. I mean, it's your bread. You make it however you want. The more cheesy you want, you just gotta have to fold it a little longer, or just so. Let's go half a cup. Let's go full cup. Cheese is not cheap, but we love our cheese. Okay, so let's put the cheese away. We don't need that. Seasonings away. Okay. I just start my dough with a spoon, and I'm just gonna see. So you can tell right away I'm missing something. I know I am because I'm missing water. I need a cup and a half of water. I'm gonna, and you want lukewarm, tepid. It can be a little warmer. Sourdough is gonna activate no matter what. So. Let's give that a stir. So if I can bring this up to show you what I'm stirring. See, so as we mix, we're just going to mix it. It's going to become a goopy mess here. It's not going to form your ball, but that's okay because you're going to add 2 more cups of flour to it. So as soon as you can't, all the flour is incorporated, add another. Eventually, you're just going to have to get rid of the spoon. It's not going to do anything for you. You're going to have to go with the gift that God give you, which is your hands. I trust my teenagers when it comes to feeding them because I make something and they're like, yeah, it's exciting. And then I made Kraft dinner last night, simple because I had to go somewhere or I had something planned, and simple and easy. I eat Kraft dinner, and I threw some broccoli in it, and he wouldn't eat it. One of them wouldn't eat it. I don't want it. I don't like broccoli. Okay, well then you know what? That just sucks, right? Like find yourself something else to eat. So you probably get a bowl of Cheerios. So we got a cup of flour. There you go. So now my hands are clean. I've been using them just for food here. So we're just gonna pop this spoon out for now. Put it over here, and we're just gonna start working this dough. I'm just gonna use one hand for now until I get on the board. I'm gonna take this flour off my board so I have a place to work. Don't need that right now. Somewhere close to number. There we go. Okay. Once you get a good portion of your flour incorporated, you can still have a little bit of flour. You can dump it right on your board. Okay, so you dumped it on your board. You can get as much extra flour on your board because what you're going to do is as you're kneading, you're going to need to incorporate all of that flour and seasoning and stuff into your dough. You want to just let it go. So this is definitely a workout. You're going to work your wrists, but you know what? You don't want to get carpal tunnel, so you want to. That's one of your parts of your body, right? Reasonable cat lady that you don't want to forget. So it's good. And so we're just going to keep working this. And you can just, if you're doing this, you can tell the smell of the garlic and the maple bacon seasoning is just permeating. I know that I'm already getting hungry. And I know that I'm going to enjoy this later. I'm going to make it into like a skinny French loaf because my son likes to add more cheese and garlic and throw it in the oven and make a garlic bread out of it. So if you need a little more flour, you just throw a little more flour on your board. You just work it. So now, if you're sticking around, I'm going to do this twice. So every time I make a specialty bread, I make 2, right? So it's good to see you, Maria. I'm glad you got up for this. I know it's you're in Colorado, so you're like it's 8:00 in the morning. But if I could send this to you and actually make sure it came fresh, I would. But somebody's going to enjoy this somewhere. I got a board game thing tomorrow. I think I'll bless the people there and give them some bread tomorrow. It's one of the things I like to do is just give people bread, give it away. I'd love to give it to the people that need it. Sometimes I take it down to the soup kitchen. Done that. But it's just something about just helping people and just not expecting anything in return. Now there's people that insist that they give me something for it, and I just say, okay, fine. If you want to give me something, that's fine. And then it goes towards just making more bread for other people. It's not about me getting myself rich. It's not what I'm here for. I kind of think back to the story of the Jesus, just taking the bread and being able to multiply it. And I'm like, well, okay, I figured out how to multiply the bread pretty crazily. Now I need to work on the fish. I don't know how I'm going to multiply fish, but it's one of those things. But I really enjoy that. It's even up since 4. Yeah, you got those biscuits. I sent you, I think, a bunch of biscuits, and they did make it to Colorado without and they survived. Well, that's good. I'm glad your biscuits survived the trek. I'm not doing any baking and shipping yet. There is a time coming because I'm sending some kids we're going to convention again in May, so I may start another campaign where I give away some baking. But we'll see. It's just shipping is not the cheapest. October you get free shipping, but not necessarily here coming up. So I may do some baking for donations. But it's good. It's good. I'm here having fun, and I just love doing it. So I spend my entire Fridays doing this. And now I start schooling, so I'm going to see how that's going to start 2 courses on Monday. I've already read the syllabus and stuff, but I'm trying to figure out, can I still do this on Friday and still get my studies done and get my papers done on time and my discussions done on time? So I got to try and take my time during the week to do that, because I still want to do this. I still want to keep making bread, because I said to myself a while ago, like, it's not hard to make bread. But why am I not doing it? And I thought about getting a bread maker, and you know how much bread a bread maker makes? Like 1 loaf. So I'm like, I'm a little better than a bread maker, and just people love it. So I don't mind doing it. I just like doing it and sharing. I think I've got that pretty much done. I don't know how long that was. Somebody was timing me, but the smell. Can you smell it? Can you smell it? Oh yeah, look at that. She's beautiful. Okay, so now we're gonna get that. Mixer's still dead, so guess what? I gotta make another scratch. If anybody knows anybody at KitchenAid who wants to sponsor me, I can use another KitchenAid mixer. That would be wonderful. I mean, it doesn't have to be KitchenAid, but I really like those KitchenAid mixers. They're sharp looking. I could buy another one eventually. If I had a bigger one, I could make like 2 batches at once. But I don't know if they have bigger ones. So just spray it, put it here. I'm just gonna set it aside till I get the second one in there, and then we'll put it in the oven. So if you're just joining us, so far I've got 4 batches of my regular sourdough done. And then I've got a regular sourdough. So I've actually done a sourdough where I've actually not added the extra quick rise yeast. I'm letting it go and seeing how that turns out and see if it gives me a better product or what happens. So we're trying. I've just made a maple bacon one. And so next I'm going to make another one of those. So I'm just going to take my bowl and start again. So you get to watch me do it all over again. But after that, I'm going to actually transfer over to something different that I haven't tried before. I'm going to make myself a flax, pumpkin, and sesame seed, sesame seeds. Yeah, flax, pumpkin seed, sesame seed bread. So, and maybe throw some oats in there and give it just a kind of rustic flavor using my basic starter with maybe a half whole wheat. And we'll see how that kicks up for us. We're going to try that next. But this is what we're going to make one more bacon one. So back to the start in our pot. I'm going to get our sourdough mix. Okay, so we need 1 cup. 1 cup. Okay. My sourdough in this pot is empty. We're going to fill it up. I like to leave it in the divide it up. So, okay, I've got these extra sourdoughs. I'm just going to dump them all into here. So I don't like throwing away my starter. Does the yeast make it a bit fluffier? It does. It makes it more of a. It makes it less dense. So it's actually going to rise up. So it's more of a white bread than a sourdough, but it's got the sourdough taste. But it's actually the little bit of yeast gives it that little more boost right away. So it's not as dense as a sourdough. So my sourdough is not as dense. The one I traditionally make, I don't know about this other one I'm starting, is not as dense, and I like that. That's kind of what I'm going for. I'm not a huge dense bread kind of guy, so I have 6 starters in my fridge. 6. I'll show you one, I guess. This is my starter. I got 6 of them like this. They're in my fridge. Every Thursday, my daughter has been helping me. She takes a cup out, puts a half cup back in. So and then feeds this, and then I take it and divide it up and feed it all on the counter. So it's ready to go for today, like on Friday. My starter's name's Yafid. I don't know why, but it kind of looks like Yafid, kind of. If you don't know who Yafid is, I'm sure PJ on here will tell you all about who Yafid is. And so I get a couple containers. I need to get a few more so I can spread it out a little more. Feed each one and just let her go, and she rises up nice. Like, I was kind of skeptical if me making my own dough starter would actually be beneficial. I started it back in September, I believe, and I haven't stopped since. I wasn't always making this much, but and it might slow down during the summer. I would assume we're going to slow down during the summer, but I could be wrong. I might speed up. So, but I'm here and I'm trying, and I think that's all that matters. And then this is going to be the last. So I don't know how many loaves of bread. Right now we're going to be working on number. That's number 2, 4, 6, 7. This is number 8 right here in the pot. And then we're going to start building number 8. So in here we have 1 cup of starter. Okay, I just had to stop for a second. 1 cup of starter. We're going to add 3 cups of flour. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to be making the bacon maple ones again, so just bear with me, and then we'll get into the next one. Maybe the mixer will be ready by then. Doesn't really matter what it is. So we got 1, and I don't care, there's a little extra salt. 2, a little extra's not going to hurt. A lot will. And then 2, I like 2 sugar to give it a little more richness. Okay. Like I said, I add the extra yeast. This just makes it not so dense. And it helps it rise a lot quicker. You don't need it, but in saying that, it's up to you. It's your product. You make it. Baking is a science, but it's okay. So I need 1, 2, 3. That's 3 scoops of this maple bacon seasoning. I'm like, well, I'm going to buy this, but it shows a picture of a salmon. That's all I'm going to use it for. No, it actually can be used for a lot of things. Of course, it doesn't say on the package that you can use it for bread, so I am taking it to the next level. We got some roasted garlic and peppers. I'm going to add 2 scoops of that. 1, 2, and then I'm going to add some cheese. I want 1 cup of cheese. Probably going to need another package. This is Kirkland Tex-Mex is what I like to use. I don't feel like I'm repeating myself, but that's okay. Get in there. It's 1. And then I'll need a little more. It's not quite 2. Growing chunks, we go through a lot of these. I bought 4 of these. When did we go to Costco? Saturday? No, it must have been Thursday night. No, I don't know. I went to Costco the other day, and I bought 4 packages of this, like two doubles, and this is the last one. Like, my boy they just devour cheese like it's going out of business. Like, it's like, I can't find the best value, but I guess sometimes I try to get the block and shred it, and sometimes I just buy the bags already shredded. It just seems like it's just either, doesn't really matter either way. It's they're gonna eat it no matter what. So I need 1.5 cups of water. A 1.5 cups of water. Grab my spoon and stir. And we're gonna add 2 more cups of flour eventually, but right now we're just gonna put these things out of the way. So I still have 6 cups of starter going. So that's 6 more batches of bread. I know somebody asked for an oatmeal molasses bread, so I need to make that. So that's a non sourdough bread mix. So if I have enough flour left, I'm going by whatever flour I have. I still got to go to the store and buy more. I just used that 20 kg bag I just bought just after Christmas. 13 days and I've gone through 20 kgs almost. That's what we talk about. It's a lot of bread. Do you make bread? Let me know if you make bread and what your favorite bread is. What's your favorite bread? Try to keep up with everybody. So yeah, so it's good. I wouldn't mind sometime if there was some people out there that wanted to come and, chat with me while I'm baking bread. That would be cool too. Have a actual conversation, say it screen by screen or, just down in the little boxes, how you can set up some of these live chats. People can just chat with me while we're actually just making bread. That would be fun. Okay, so here we go. My bread has a life of its own. So we got here. It's now going to go on the board, and now we're going to knead it. Get some of this other stuff off the bottom. And work it. Hopefully my mixer will come back to me in a minute. Oh, yeah. There's nothing like a fresh bread. As you let it sit for a minute, but then cut it, and then just putting that butter on there. Oh, now you make me hungry. I got like a little while to go. I got a little while to go before I can actually get some bread in my mouth. I don't, but yeah, I do keep some for myself. I'm not I'm not that kind of person that doesn't eat it, but I don't eat a ton of it. Oh yeah, some olive oil and salt and pepper. Okay. Yeah, some people like to dip their bread, and I've seen people dipping their pizza crust in olive oil and balsamic vinegar. Lots of options. So I don't know what you're not gonna see much of me baking. I'm only gonna be on here for about an hour, so I got a half hour to go. You won't maybe see me bake the bread. Maybe next time I'll come at a different stage where I'll come a little later in the day where I'm more into the Oh yeah, Chris. So here's a good story of me baking bread. So we got to Dubai overseas, and we were hanging out, and the boss is like, "We want fresh bread every day in Dubai," because the bread we were buying was just like paper thin cardboard. It almost looked like gluten-free bread, and so he ended up buying a bread slicer. He was so excited to make bread, so he bought a bread slicer for a ship of 200 people. I was popping out 32 loaves every night. I was working on the bread. Every night I was the baker. I was popping out the bread. I was slicing the bread. I was bagging the bread. And on top of that, I was making cookies and cakes and pies and whatever else suited my fancy. And I was just a young lad. I was only at that time probably 21. I guess it's half my age. Half a lifetime ago, and there I was popping out bread and slicing it, making some whole wheat bread, and like 32 loaves a night. It wasn't too bad because I could pop it all into the machine. The machine could handle that much, which was helpful. Not like this machine where if I want to make 32 loaves of bread, I got to do 16 or so batches of bread. If I did this all by hand, it would be painful after a while. I mean, you get used to it. I mean, Mama used to, or mamas or grandmamas that used to make bread. This is how they did it. They didn't have no fancy KitchenAid or some Sunbeam. So excited to see what's going on. So yeah, so Just need another minute on this one, and then hopefully I can get the other one in the mixer if it's cooled down. She did 6 for me this time, and then she just quit. She quit once, but sometimes she quits and just trips, and just because it's so thick, and then but she doesn't trip, like she just stops, and then she can start up again. But this time she's super overheated, got a headache, I guess. I don't know. So, but yeah, you just keep working it, and then we're gonna let this rise. So, and then I'll show you what I got currently in the oven. I'll bring it over and show you what's proofing right now. Not all of it, but some of it. Okay, so there's our cheese bread. Pick up all those extra pieces. There's our cheese bread. So there's our maple bacon, cheese bread. There you go. Take the shadows of my face. And we don't want to drop it. And it's good to go. It's got that nice feel to it. It's popping back. It's nice and elastic. It's beautiful. This is gonna make some beautiful bread. It's gonna smell the place up. My wife comes home at 5. She's gonna say, "Why does it smell like a bakery in here?" Well, she knows why. She's not watching, but she knows why. So here we go. Let's do that. Let's get that in. You can already see the one that I did earlier. It's already starting to rise, which is good. And it's not even in the proofer. It's just elastic. So we'll get that in the oven. So now, currently in the oven, I have. So currently in the proofer, I have these ones. These are my regular breads. So they're starting to proof. They're starting. Now, sometimes my bread will go a little really soft, and then sometimes it'll go hard, and just maybe a little extra water. But at the end of the day, they turn out really well. So here we go. And this one is my sourdough, straight up, no extra yeast. So it's coming up nicely. It's been about just shy of an hour. I'm going to put it on, at least get 2 out of it. I want it to double in size. So if it's not doubled, I'm going to let it go longer. I'm going to let the natural yeast of the sourdough work. I'm not giving it a boost or not giving it a nitrous boost. So, I mean, I can show you the other one, but it's the same bread. Okay, so now we're going to see, is the mixture back in? We're back. Okay, we got the mixer. So we got the mixer, so we're good. So we're going to just get all the ingredients in the container. I didn't want to mix my bread in that other pot because it had cheese in it, and my bread right now is dairy free. If you that's not that particular one, but every other bread is dairy free. There's no dairy in it. So if you're a dairy kind of guy or gal, and you can't have that dairy, you're intolerant. We got that for you. Got that covered. I do want eventually down the road. I want to eventually get some gluten-free flour and attempt a gluten-free flour starter. I don't know how that's going to work because gluten flour is not the cheapest. Gluten-free flour, so we're going to see what we can do there. But that's my attempt, is going to be get some gluten-free flour. I know there's going to be a niche for it. People want it, so I might be able to, if I can get a couple starters going, I might be able to give some away if it works. But I got to test it to make sure it works first. But I'll be here with you to make sure that it works fine. But it takes about 8 days to make a starter, any starter at all. But it is possible. I Googled it. It is possible. I just need some flour. So if you know somebody who's got some gluten-free flour connections and wants to hook me up to make this, let me know. Okay, so I got my bowl. I'm going to use the same bowl over and over again. It doesn't really matter as long as there's no dairy in it. It's all good. So in here, I'm going to add. Get my starter dough cup. Okay, so 1 cup of starter dough. I am not 100% accurate on all my stuff. I try my best, but I'm not accurate. It doesn't matter. Some recipes, absolutely, it matters. You can't go crazy, but a variation of a teaspoon is not going to, in certain things. Salt might be a little different, but okay, so 1 cup of starter. Okay, this is going to be our flaxseed and salted, roasted salted sunflower seeds. So we're going to add a little tiny bit less salt. And these are pumpkin seeds. I just kind of quickly give them a quick pulse in the Ninja. I don't want them so big because they're just a little too, well, it wouldn't matter. I mean, it's whatever I want, right? So I got my 1 cup in here. I'm going to add my, and for this one, I'm going to add 2 cups of flour. I'm going to add we're gonna try something here. I'm gonna take 3 cups of whole wheat flour. I'm gonna add 1 cup of oatmeal. 1 cup of oatmeal. So when I'm adding oatmeal, I need to make sure that I add more liquid because the oatmeal is going to suck up a lot of liquid. I'm going to add half of a cup of the nuts. So half a cup, or just under half a cup. Not a full half a cup, but enough. And then these are the flax seeds. I don't know how many of those to add. Let's see here. Let's be small. So maybe I'll add half a cup and just go with it. Half a cup of flax, just why not? And then I'm just gonna, I've already got my ingredients ready for the next one, so I'll just measure out the other half cup of flax for the next batch, because I always make 2, right? So 2 there, okay. Gonna put this away. And then the sesame seeds, get this going. This is gonna be more of a healthy kind of, obviously. Let's go with these roasties. Half. You can get these mostly anywhere in your store, in the bulk food section is where I got mine. Probably got enough here to do another loaf later. A little less. Okay, so in here right now we've got our flour, our nuts, some oatmeal, and then we need some salt. So I'm gonna go 1. There's a little bit of salt. I don't think the salt's gonna matter too much because the oatmeal is gonna be in here. So that, just a little bit more. No, that's only half a teaspoon. So there you go. So that'll be our salt. Wrong measuring cup. We're gonna add 1 teaspoon of yeast. I'm gonna go to 1 3/4 of water. And if I need to add more water, I can always add a little bit more. I just want to be too dry. For this one, I am not going to add sugar. I'm gonna add something a little better. I'm gonna add a healthy dose of honey. I'm just gonna add some honey just to give it some that richness that we might not get from the excitement. It's okay. So we got our stuff. It's all kind of the healthiest stuff. Healthy bread's not my cup of tea, but it is somebody's. So we are going to cater to them because I like to cater to people. So we're gonna take this, pop it on, and let her go. On low, and let her go. So we're just gonna get this one ready to go, so then we can just top it later. Banana nut bread is more it's called a quick loaf. So banana nut bread, there's no yeast in it, right? It's made with baking powder. So a banana nut loaf, even though they call it banana bread, it's more of a loaf. So I would call it banana loaf, but they do call it bread because it's cooked in the bread pan, so that's why they call it a bread. If that makes sense. But it's usually, you rise that kind of stuff with baking powder, vice yeast. If you were to use yeast, and you can find a recipe with yeast in it for a banana bread, let me know. I'd love to try it. I'm curious to see if that would work. So in here we have the 1 cup of starter. While that's going over there, we need our flour, which is going to be 1, 2, 3. Hey, if you're new here, let me know where you're from. If you're just jumping in and you just got here, love to know where you're at. I know we got a couple in here, faithful in here for a little bit. So we got 2 cups of flour. We got our nut mix. This is our flax, our sesame seeds, and our pumpkin seeds. I pulsed up the pumpkin seeds. And then we're going to add 1 cup of oatmeal. 1 cup of oatmeal. We're going to put in our salt. Measuring spoons here. Measuring spoons. 1, 2. We're going to have 1 teaspoon of yeast. we're going to have cup and 3/4 of water. And for our sugar, I've got honey. You're in New York. I've been to New York. I wanted a couple times. I went with my wife one year for our honeymoon. Not a honeymoon, like I think it was our 8-year anniversary. We went. And I'd love to go again. I really want to go. So I'll see if I can convince her to go. Okay, I'm going to take this off here. I'm going to throw the other one on. I'm going to knead this one by hand a little bit, I think, just so you guys can see what I'm doing here. And this would go. Kick it. Come on. There we go. Okay, so move all these things out of the way. I know I was washing dishes earlier and the mixer was going and I thought it was talking to me. I'm like, where's that coming from? I'm not live yet. No one's talking to me. It was interesting. So one funny fact about my really not funny. It's just kind of interesting. I saw when I was in New York. I'm not a celebrity, jumper, but it was funny. We were walking around near Central Park, and I could have swore it was the Fonz Winkler that we walked by. We didn't say anything. He was on the other side of the street. We're not gonna give people their privacy and stuff, but it was pretty funny. I'm like, that's the Fonz, and she's like, no, it's not. I'm like, yes, it was, but we're not gonna go check and see. I don't know. Celebrity sightings are very rare, but they're just like normal people, right? Yeah. The problem is we sometimes elevate them and put them on a pedestal, but they're just normal people, and that's cool. I know. There's lots of people floating around New York, so you could probably bump into anybody, but it's just a matter of you show them the respect or you become like a fanboy, right? I'm not that fanboy. I don't think I would freak out if I saw anybody in particular. Maybe Maria. Maybe I might freak out if I saw her in person when I wasn't supposed to. But it's all about just playing it cool. They put their pants on one leg at a time, right? Just like us. Sometimes they get out of bed in the wrong foot. It happens. So I wouldn't want a camera in my face. Yeah, you run into a lot. Well, of course you live there. You're gonna run into people. You're gonna probably see, and probably people you wouldn't even see. You wouldn't even notice. Because sometimes when they're portrayed on the screen, they're not looking exactly like there's sometimes the portrayal is totally different, especially those people in those sci-fi shows that have all of that makeup on. I'm sure I wouldn't recognize half of them. I mean, if I ran into Yaphet on the street, I'd recognize him right away. But I'm kidding, of course, because I can. But it's all good. So this one has this has got like so much nutty goodness in it. I hope it turns out well. I hope it looks good. It looks good. Look at all that flavor. Look at that. It's heavy, so I'm going to give it time to rise. I'm going to give it lots of time to rise. But it's heavy, but I keep putting it to the computer monitor. It's actually up here. There you go. See all that nuts in there? It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Okay, I need a hand to let this run. So, blue bowl. Oh, snap. Yeah, something to see, all right. I'm sure it is. You ran into the norm out of I guess that's to be expected, isn't it? Okay, I'm over here looking at my mixer, and I knew I did something wrong. You actually have to put the hook on. So if you see her, I come into the picture. This is my gorgeous daughter. She's Emma. She's getting ready for work. I don't put the dough hook on, I can't mix the mixer. It's just kind of spinning in circles. We all have our moments. Okay, there we go. Excuse me, you're live.
Yeah.
Bless her. Make sure you cover yourself up. Oh, my daughter.
Yes, I did.
Oh, good. I wasn't paying attention. Anyway, say hi to Emma if you see her here, but it's all good. Okay, so yeah, so I've got. I'm just gonna scrape any of those nuts to it and walk them to the next. I don't want those in the next batch. I'm gonna make now a whole wheat bread. Whole wheat. Okay. Whole wheat. So we got our. So it's gonna be our sourdough starter. We're just gonna go more whole wheat flour than regular flour, giving more richness flavor. So 1 cup of starter. Starter. And a cup and a half of water. Cup and a half of water. Okay, when you put your water in your starter, combine it. If the starter actually starts to float up to the top, that means it's good. It means you've done the right things and you've done it. So there we go. So we got that. So now we have just our quick teaspoon of yeast. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of salt. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of sugar, just for richness. We're going to add 1 cup of white flour. And then the rest is going to be whole wheat flour, yellow brand, whole wheat. 1, 2, 3, and the 4. And that's going to give us an 80% whole wheat. Technically, something like that. I don't know if the percentage is 80%, but. Okay. Pop down my mixer, turn it off first. Okay, we'll put that here. So put this whole wheat one on just to mix, if it'll mix. I think the top of my mixer's warm enough to cook an egg, but my daughter thinks she can cook an egg on it. Scrape it what we can. I need this for a little bit. Get this over here. I don't think I'm going to use this anymore. I'm down to the 2 cups of starter, so I got 2 more batches to go after this. So, and then I'll be out of starter. I use all my starter up. I really don't like throwing it out. It's a waste. So I get it. So let's work this. It worked pretty good in the mixer when it was actually touching the dough. And so, yeah. So maybe after I get this one done, we'll see if one of my breads are ready to shake. I can go for a little bit longer and actually shake some bread. So. Nope, the mixer didn't like that. She needs just a little tad more of water. She looks pretty thick. Just got a little bit of water just to. Can always add. It's easier to add more flour than it's the water. Let's see if she goes. Nine skillion. Is that a number? 9 skillion? Okay, so this is our second nutty bread, I guess. Nutty, herby, 3 3 herbs and spices. I don't know how you would call it. But that's done. So I need another container. Spray. My mixer's not liking it. Now I gotta let my. Fortunately, my dough's not ready to go yet, so I'm just gonna let it keep rising. Let's see. So this whole wheat one looks like it. She is. Design. And just kind of work this a little bit. The mixers thinks it's too thick, but I think it's perfect. Just the way it is. So just look, this isn't the singing chef, but it could be. My daughter doesn't think I can sing very well, but I don't know.
No, I can. No, you sing, but like, don't start making up songs while you're doing.
No,
stuff.
making up songs while I'm singing. It's not my niche. But that's okay. We can have fun.
Maybe if you sing, do you want to play a board game? But like,
Oh, that's my other hobby, board games. I get so many things on the go. So yeah, so we just worked this whole wheat dough. It's kind of. I think next time I'll put one. Next time I make the whole wheat one here. I think I'll cut back on one of the flour and just add it as I need it, and then just so it's not so tough. It's not okay. It still rise. It'll rise. Okay, so that's the attempt I'm going to make on that. So we can another pan. We'll spray it. And we'll throw it here. And we'll spray it again. And we'll throw it in the oven. Just like that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. There's 11 batches of bread on the go. And it's 11 o'clock. And I started at just before 9. Whew. Okay. Let's get another whole one. My first one should be ready to use, but it's just I want to make sure there isn't enough. So, because if they don't rise enough, then they're not fluffy and they're not as nice as they should be. And I don't like that. So I want my bread to be about me, light and fluffy and exciting. Okay, 1 cup of starter. My glass jar is here. We need 1.5 cups of water. Water. They said if your starter starts to float, that means you did the good job. It's ready. You add 1 teaspoon of yeast, 2. Whoop, a little less this time. A little too excited. That should salt come out. There you go, salt. A little bit of sugar, 2. 1, 2, and 1 cup of flour, and then we're gonna do 3 cups. We're gonna do 3 cups of whole wheat. We'll get it going, and then we'll add the other cup gradually until it gets to the consistency that we want. So that's 3. And we'll just add a bit more as we need it. If she'll turn on. Come on, baby. Maybe I have to do this one by hand. I guess I got to do this one by hand because the mixer doesn't want to turn on. So I'll pretend I'm the mixer. Making alien noises. Using the dough hook. KitchenAid's got nothing on me. I'm going to have some big biceps by the time I'm done this. So I need a new mixer. So if anybody knows anybody that, works at KitchenAid that wants, KitchenAid wants to sponsor the Warship chef, future videos, sure would help. The mixer's 8 years old. It's done a good job. It's done a lot of bread in the last little while. Okay, so we're here. Usually the mixture doesn't kick out at me twice, but I guess I'm on loaf number 12 or batch number 12. So that's we did make what 3 by scratch. I don't know. So you can definitely feel this needs more flour. See, I didn't put that extra cup of flour, so now I have to work it in. Rolling in the dough. Well, I'm going to be going here soon. It's been an hour. I'll be here for another 10 minutes. And you can hang out. I don't know if my bread's going to be ready to show you the shaping, but next time I said, maybe I'll start at, try and start at 11, a little later. And then I would love to spend time with Maria. If she wants to come hang out with me on a Friday morning, pick a time and we'll make it happen. I would love to spend time with Maria. Anytime I get to hang out with anybody, especially Maria, would be amazing. We can just chat about anything, and while we're cooking, I can work on some products that she can work on because she doesn't have any sourdough starter. I don't think so. We could work together. So, well, you know what? It's all good. As I keep going and as I keep working, I thank you guys for coming out. I thank you for those who stayed a long time. I'm going to keep working on my bread. And anytime anybody wants to come, and when I'm going live, if you want to jump in, and I can send you an invite next time. So just pay attention to when I'm coming back and just let me know and DM me, and I'll and just grow together, guys. We can do it on my channel. We can do it on your channel. It really doesn't matter to me. It's all about sharing the love, right? So thanks for coming. Just keep rolling your dough. Keep working. Keep making people happy. Share. Share's great. And just have a good one. We'll see you next time. Kurt out.